The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Talkin Cowboys.
Streaming live from Dallas Cowboys training camp
In Oxnard, California.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Yeomans.
Welcome to Talkin Cowboys live from training camp in Oxnard, California. It is the final Talkin Cowboys from training camp in Oxnard, California in 2024. Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening. We really appreciate you. We're happy to be here for the final time this year.
Listen, man, 3 days, Texas, we coming home.
We're coming home to 100-plus degree weather.
No.
It's more than welcome.
The heat wave is supposed to break on Thursday, the day that we get there.
Let's go.
So it'll be
because
chilly,
we're coming back.
Yeah, it'll be a chilly 98 degrees when we get back to Texas.
Speaking of chill, I am here with Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. I am here with Patrick and O.C. Walker at Voice of the Star. I am your host, Josh W. Rodriguez on Twitter. We are here.
Nasty work.
We're talking Cowboys, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Let's go. News and notes, Patrick and O.C. Walker.
All right, so first of all, to confirm for everyone, Carl Lawson has officially signed to the Cowboys. He is officially on the roster. Cowboys do have a full padded practice today. Carl Lawson is expected to participate, but we have a mock game today. We have a mock game. See, 3 days. I'm coming home. 3 days.
You know what? Give us a break.
Forgive me.
Just saying.
Give us a break.
Cowboys have a mock game today.
Who do we
Carl
cover?
Lawson
The Raiders?
Oh, that's cold. Whew. Bless their hearts. He's expected to participate in the mock game, which is essentially a walkthrough for the Cowboys, but we will speak with head coach Mike McCarthy this afternoon in a few hours to confirm if that's going to be the case. Full padded practice will resume on tomorrow, which is going to be Tuesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday? Okay.
Tomorrow's Tuesday, I think.
Corresponding move, Earl Bostick, offensive lineman, offensive tackle specifically, will be moved to IR. Ahead of roster cutdowns, he will unfortunately join Chuma Edoga, the other Cowboys backup tackle, on IR. Cowboys, as a reminder, signed Cole Cabron, and Cole Cabron was on the field against the Raiders. Didn't look half bad for a guy that had just gotten here, nor did Jordan Phillips, who looked really good for a guy who got here 2 days before he took the field. Headline, obviously, over the weekend, Mazi Smith suffered an allergic reaction on what would have been his travel day, the team's travel day to Las Vegas. It required treatment, transportation to the hospital, follow-up reevaluation on Saturday morning. He was unable to travel. He was held back here in Oxnard for medical reasons, not cleared, and we will get an update from Mike McCarthy, again, when we speak to him today on the status of Mazi Smith. But I'm told that he is doing better. He's making progress, which is the good news, but we'll see if he participates in today's mock game or tomorrow's full padded practice.
You know, bottom line is once he was left back, he was never coming. The Cowboys just didn't want to say it. Certainly they were being cautious, and from a PR standpoint, you have to do that. But
It may be a little optimistic.
yeah, but
Holding out hope.
He was in
hope.
the hospital for 4 hours. Okay, he had an EpiPen. I mean, there's you know, they
Kind
just
of a big
didn't
deal.
want to, you know, obviously they're gonna piecemeal information, but there was no way he was coming flying him in Saturday morning for a preseason game. There was no point.
Yeah.
You know,
agree with that.
especially what he had gone through, that experience he had gone through, there was no way it was coming. The good news is he is feeling better. The Cowboys are optimistic, you know, obviously that he'll make a full recovery from whatever it was. It was an allergic reaction. We don't really
Right.
know,
We don't know.
the severity of whatever else. And so now, just on the process, we got to do the reconditioning. We got to do all of that.
Yeah.
You know, get him back and get him ready to go for the start of the season. But, you know, yeoman's work by Jordan Phillips, who just got here. And certainly he's a veteran. He knows the scheme. I don't know how much he would have played if Mazi would have been out there. Certainly, talking to the Cowboys, he probably would have played anyway. But he played more than expected. I think he started the game.
He did start.
Certainly because Mazi wasn't there. They wanted Mazi to play. But for a veteran, no practice time with the Cowboys. Just signed with late Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Joined the team.
And
Get
went
out
out
there
there
and
and
give some
played.
good snaps and show you, you know, why they brought him here. What he, in concert with Mazi, help shore up the depth on that defensive line was a good move.
And what actually makes it even more interesting about Jordan Phillips is they didn't drop him down in the 1 tech at the nose tackle. He started at the 3 tech in place of Osa. So it was Jordan Phillips playing alongside Justin Rogers, rookie 7th round pick, who got a lot of reps, obviously, in the absence of Mozzie. So something interesting to keep an eye on when you're talking about Jordan Phillips. Obviously, the immediate thought is he comes in and he plays in rotation with Mozzie Smith, which is likely. But the fact that he shows some good things at the 3 tech, maybe he gets some reps in rotation with Osa as well.
Well, that's the dirty little secret. There's really no backup 3 tech.
Yeah.
There's no backup 3 tech.
It's not a secret.
You know, and so that's the thing. When I talk about the defensive line, he's coming into camp. There were questions certainly with Mozzie just because of last year and the unknown. Yeah. But there was no proven depth at either position, on the defensive line. And I've said it, it's hard to be a good defense if you're not strong up the middle.
Yep.
Because especially to be able to stop the run. And it was something they had to show up. They should have showed up. They certainly brought in Jordan Phillips. And I don't know if they're done. And I don't think they're done looking at help for that defensive line because, again, 6'6", 314 or 3 whatever he is not your ideal 3 technique.
Right.
He's historically been a 1 technique, but he does have push. He 1 year had 9.5 sacks, so he can't get up the field. He can't do that. And Mozzie has done some things at 3 technique. So you're going to rotate those 3 guys, but you still need help up the middle.
Yeah, no, I was even talking to Nick Eamon about how impressive Jordan Phillips was in his first performance, especially after just signing only a few days before the game and actually taking snaps, a lot of snaps in the first half of that game. It's really impressive, especially at a guy his size, and he's a big dude. I don't know if you guys have seen him around. That's a large man.
He's not small. Now, he's not Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips is a freaking building with legs,
right?
Which is, nose tackle. But Carl Lawson is not a small guy. I mean, what are we talking here? 6'2", 265, give or take. So he's going to come in and give you the help on the defensive end that you're going to lose with the loss of Sam Williams, and he's going to help Marshawn Nealon and those guys come along on the end. What's interesting, though, is let's see what they do with Chauncey Golston, because when Sam Williams went down, Chauncey Golston was moved back out to defensive end, and for those that may not know, Chauncey Golston started his career with the Cowboys on the edge, and he was moved inside. So they're going to use some versatility with Chauncey Golston to try to help at the 3 tech. Maybe they'll get Carl Lawson involved in the 3 tech a little bit on some of those lighter 4-man fronts and 3-man fronts to kind of, on those passing downs, to kind of get pressure. But it'll be interesting to see how they work it, because Clarence is right. We talk about the nose tackle rotation a lot, and Jordan Phillips, ideally, he's going to come in and help with that. You got Albert Huggins, who actually played much better against the Raiders, and then you got Justin Rogers. But that 3 tech is really thin behind Osa.
Well, go ahead.
And let's just, I'm glad you brought up Albert Huggins, because he got a lot of crap. A lot of grief, deservedly so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he earned it.
For what he did in against the Rams. Lesson learned. Everybody thought, well, he should be fired and he should be cut and all this other stuff. The Cowboys, young guy trying to make the team, was overly aggressive. Again, Mike McCarthy said is unacceptable, but kept the right attitude and had a good game against the Raiders, and showed why they brought him in here. And we'll see if he makes the team. And he's at that position we're talking about. But so good for him to show some growth, and good for the Cowboys to show some patience with him. But just getting back, you again, defensive end. I still Lawson, and you talk about Sam Williams, but it's really about also making up for Dorrance and the guys that left.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
They lost a lot of veterans.
Fowler as well.
Who were part of that rotation, and you want to use Mozzie and linebacker, so you need as much in help as you can as well, so you can still do some of the things you want with Mozzie.
And speaking of in help, as I was naming some of those guys like Carl Lawson, obviously Marshawn Nealon, let's not forget Al-Quadin Muhammad. Al-Quadin Muhammad, AQM as I like to call him. He's been practicing very well since he arrived. He was in that workout group with Shaka Toney and Carl Lawson, and AQM got the nod, and he's been doing well in camp, trending in the right direction. 2 preseason games under his belt. He's improving as the preseason games go along, so I keep an eye out for AQM as well.
Absolutely. All right, boys. So, let's get into the game itself. We played the Las Vegas Raiders only a few days ago at Allegiant Stadium. The Raiders, and it ended up sounding more like a Dallas game.
Takeover.
The fans were live. The fans were live. It was a great setting. That stadium is beautiful. I do have to say that. It was a vibe.
Agreed. And you know, for for all of the talk about this, what the stands in Oxnard look like, let me tell you, the Cowboys fans effectively took over at some point against the Raiders, and we started hearing chants of "Let's go Cowboys." Yeah, I tried to be nice, but okay, let's throw that out the window. Cowboys fans showed up, and they were hot and heavy going into the Raiders preseason game, and as the game went on and the Cowboys started to pull away, the Raiders fans got quiet, and you heard the entirety of "Let's go Cowboys, let's go Cowboys." So Cowboys fans are energized this season. Obviously, they have a right to be critical. I mean, when you end the season like the Cowboys ended against the Green
100%.
Bay Packers, I get that 100%. Cowboys have a lot to fix, and they have a lot of pressure on the line when you talk about guys who are on a one-year contract, including coaches as well. And that's one of the reasons I believe that we still have 3 days left out here.
Yes.
Before we go home, Mike McCarthy trying to maximize the amount of time he has with his guys in training camp to put them on the right foot going forward.
Well, I think that more than one thing can be true. There's a lot of Cowboy fans, okay? Yeah. A lot of Cowboy fans. There are a lot of frustrated Cowboy fans. Yeah. There's still a lot of diehard Cowboy fans. Okay, so yes, there are fans who are disillusioned. There are fans who are frustrated. There are fans who, I'm not giving Jerry my money anymore. And then there are fans who, Cowboys no matter what. I'm rooting for the jersey, and they were there. I went to the Aces game.
Yeah.
A lot of Cowboy jerseys there. A lot of Cowboys. They walking through the casinos, you know, because the Cowboys were standing at MGM Park, and I'm going to the Mandalay Bay, and there's so many fans in town in Cowboy jerseys and stuff like that. And I was going to the game, high-fiving each other. So the Cowboys showed up. I went to Emmett Smith's restaurant on Friday night. Let me drop that a little bit for you.
Get done.
Emmett was there. A lot of Cowboy fans up in there. Emmett signing jerseys. A lot of people use this opportunity. Let's be honest. This stadium opened in 2020. Jerry helped build this stadium.
Yeah,
this is the first time the Cowboys got there. Everybody wanted to go to Vegas. Everybody wants to see the Cowboys in this stadium. We want to see the new stadium. That's part of it too.
Absolutely.
You know,
no.
the Legends is part of did the marketing. They do the food service. You know, so Jerry's making money in Vegas as well on these Raiders. So again, yes, a lot of Cowboy fans were there. Again, great stadium, great looking stadium, and I check with myself. I try to check myself.
You do?
Yeah. I'm trying to say I'm not being biased. It's still not better than AT&T.
It's not.
No.
You know,
I put my rankings out there.
A lot of these new stadiums, you know, it does have an in-game experience. I like that. I do like the scoreboards. I kind of like the little end zone.
The open press box,
the open press box is nice.
Cool.
But as far as the stadium itself, you know, they still trailing AT&T.
AT&T, U.S. Bank, and then Allegiant jumped into number 3.
But it's a nice stadium.
It is. It's nice. But yeah, the fans showed up and they showed out. And if you're a frustrated fan, you have the right to be. If you're an optimistic fan, you have a right to be. Both things are true at the same time. It's not about swinging all the way left or swinging all the way right. The truth is somewhere in the middle if you do the homework.
Now, about this game, Trey Lance. I want to get into Trey Lance. This is kind of a longer conversation.
Before the defense?
What's that?
Before the defense?
It's QB.
Yeah.
QB.
I know it's QB. We always hype the QB.
We got to talk about
the game with
but
defense.
He also did a 180.
But he started the game with
defense.
He also did
a 180.
The start of the game with defense. I want to make sure we understand that.
Facts. But
we got to talk about the QB. All right.
But I would like to talk longer about the defense. So let's go ahead and talk Trey.
Let's get Trey Lance not out of the way, but let's talk about Trey Lance, because I know that's a lot of the questions from the fans are coming about this quarterback position. So an improvement over last week for sure.
Quite a bit.
An improvement over the Rams game. You saw him actually taking risks, trusting his receivers, going through his reads. What did you see from Trey Lance?
Well, first and foremost, I saw some touch on his passes. And there were some passes that still lacked the touch, and I spoke about this coming out of the Rams game and spoke about it to the totality of what's going on in camp practices, and that on a lot of his deep balls, they tend to sail. They're not dropping into the bucket like you're seeing with Cooper Rush, like you see with Dak Prescott. I saw more of that being able to be accomplished by Trey Lance. Talk about the touchdown to Ryan Flanoy in the end zone. Flanoy absolutely destroys the defender, and then all he had to do, Trey, was lob it in there, and that's what he did. He didn't try to throw the bullet. He didn't put too much on it, and it sailed into the stands. He did exactly what he needed to do, and he also settled in. My only quandary for Trey Lance is, can we settle in more quickly? As a backup in the NFL, if your starting quarterback were to go down, you're not going to have ideally a full quarter, a full half to settle in. You got to go in, which is why Cooper Rush has been so effective as being a backup quarterback, because he can go in ice cold and make some plays for you, or at least not give the game away. For Trey Lance, he came out cold in the first quarter, settled in nicely. Second quarter, chef kiss. Came out third quarter, cold, slow start. Got into the fourth quarter, chef kiss. So if he can get quicker starts and continue to improve on his touch and trusting his arm to make those throws and trusting the receivers, and they need to help him out, and they have been more and more. But if those things continue to happen, then his game against the Chargers should be even better than the game against the Raiders, which was markedly better than the game against the Rams.
And then what?
And then he'll be emergency quarterback.
Okay, thank you. I'm just making sure.
I like that. And then he'll be emergency quarterback this season.
Okay.
Having gone out on a high note, which then sets up the conversation for 2025 as far as
it adds to his value
as far as backup quarterback.
I'm just making sure.
Oh no, we are right there.
Just making sure.
Cooper Rush is still QB2 as we have this conversation.
Just making sure. So now we got that out the way, because people will go crazy. And people go bonkers.
What? People go crazy?
Just because that's why we got to talk about the quarterback first, because it's the quarterback.
Yeah.
Even though the defense will start the show. But people go crazy, and we got to talk about the quarterback because that's the headlines. And
the kicker.
And all of that stuff. But progress. He took a step. He talked about the growth. You saw the growth. The touchdown pass was a perfect example of, him throwing it on time and in rhythm, unlike against the Rams when he threw the ball late and threw it out of bounds and to give a guy a chance to make a play. Certainly that there's some things, and early in the game he was high, he was behind receivers. The accuracy remains a problem. One thing Mike McCarthy talked about last week after the game, and it's something we've talked about and I've talked about, he just needs reps.
Yeah.
He needs reps. He needs snaps. So I really lament the fact that this guy like that can't go to the UFL and play quarterback and get some snaps under him, and so he can see the game. But you saw the growth. And you saw the progress from week 1 to week 2, and you're going to continue to see more progress next week. But again, you're going against backups. You're going to get starters against the Raiders for most of the game. For the first half, certainly the second half was backups. They don't have full game plans. They don't have full scheming. There's not enough there to say he's competing for Cooper Rush for the backup job.
Oh no, absolutely not.
But from a guy, you see the potential, you see the growth, you saw the athleticism. It was a good showing for him, very good showing.
Also saw some composure as well.
100%.
Not nearly as much panic as we saw in some plays against the Rams. One play in particular comes to mind. It's a free blitz off of the left side, third down, I believe it was 3rd and 10. Blitzer is right in his face. He goes off the back foot. He lobs it. It's Luke Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker makes the play and gets the first down, move the chains. Those kind of plays show me that more reps equal more composure. But unfortunately for Trey Lance, you only have maybe 4 quarters if they give him this entire game against the Chargers. And they should. But he only has, let's say, 3 or 4 quarters more before he doesn't take another step for the Cowboys this season.
Yeah.
Ideally being that Dak Prescott remains healthy the entire season.
I remember you turning me in the press box after that Schoonmaker lob.
Yeah.
And you were like, that's football.
That's football. That's how you play. That's the touch. Don't try to do too much. The guy's already run his route. It's right there for you. Just give him the Dwayne Wade. Let him LeBron that thing.
So in addition to this, though, you also need a really good running game. And after this break, we need to discuss the running back battle, as it were, and who makes the cut for the final rosters. We'll be right back after these messages.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts nearby, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Welcome back to Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company. This portion of Talkin Cowboys is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, trusted since 1877.
Almost
a perfect read. Bring out the good. Just bring out the good, all right? All right, so before the break, I asked a question. And, Chill, I promise this is the last offensive question I'm going to ask you, all right?
That's okay. We can talk about the receivers, too.
No more after this.
No,
absolutely not.
Talk about the kicker.
Absolutely not.
We ain't talking about the offensive lineman yet either.
We need to please Clarence.
We ain't talking about the offensive lineman yet either.
To the guest. He's a guest in our house.
No, I'm pandering. He's
going to eat these oats.
We're
going to go this rundown.
The running back battle. We saw Malik Davis. We saw Deuce Vaughn. We saw Royce Freeman, Snoop Connor. What did you see from the running back room on Saturday?
I saw that the decisions to come as far as cutting down the roster for the running backs going to be that much more challenging. Deuce Vaughn, he came out firing. He had missed the preseason opener with the hamstring injury, had missed several practices with that hamstring injury. Royce Freeman also missed the preseason opener and several practices. His was with a groin injury. Both of those guys showed up against the Raiders, and they played very well. Deuce Vaughn was able to not only show his shiftiness and his quickness that we've all become accustomed to seeing at Kansas State, but he also showed some power. Talk about the run where he was contacted a yard or two behind the line of scrimmage, powers through one guy, powers through two guys, turns it into a 2 or 3 yard gain. Talked to Deuce after the game and asked him about that newfound power. He said it was a focus for him this offseason, building his strength, building his power so he can do more dirty runs. And again, Royce Freeman was obviously built to do the dirty runs. So you now have two running backs that are showing some great things. In addition to, you already know who your two starters are. It's Rico and it's Zeke. Hunter Lipke is going to be in the mix as well. Question is, how many running backs are you going to carry? And that's the conversation.
How many running backs are you carrying?
First of all, let me answer the question like I want to answer the question. Shout out to Cooper Beebe. Shout out to Tyler Guyton.
Do that.
Shout out to the young offensive lineman. One reason why I think the Cowboys felt the running game will be better this year is the blocking will be better.
Yes, sir.
And that starts up front. There was always questions about the dynamic of the backfield.
Wait, so are you saying an improvement over the center position from last year?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Already?
Possibly.
Saying that already? We got to run that tape back.
Run it back, because last week he fought me on that.
No, I didn't fight you.
He fought me on that.
Listen. I said one thing the Cowboys talked about.
I was with him, though.
And you don't know how fast Cooper's going to,
we're joking.
Sure, and I talked. One thing I've said all summer, and I've said this on the show. Cooper Beebe is the biggest, strongest center the Cowboys have had since Andre Gerard.
Oh, you said Gerard. That's right. You just said Gerard.
Andre Gerard. I mean, we're talking about biggest, strongest center they've had. Now, certainly Frederick was the best, but I'm just talking about big, strong, and just boost strength. And he's nasty, and so you like that. It was just about how fast he could develop, but any optimism of the running game was not just about the backs. It was about being better up front as blocking. And certainly Zach Marvin's going to be better, because he didn't have to hold out. Mm-hmm. Tyler Smith is one of the best in the league. Tyler Guyton is a better blocker than Tyron Smith in the run game. Okay, and certainly Terrence Steele's going to be better coming off the knee injury, so the blocking was going to be better. So now we understand that that's part of the run game thing, where the Cowboys can think that they can be functional in the run game. The question I've always had about the run game was, who's going to be the dynamic performer. I think they'll be better toward the goal line, okay? But there's not a lot of juice, and certainly Deuce showed you he gives you that juice. No one else really gives you that burst.
Right.
Rico.
I was going to say, I'm going to disagree because I think with this improved blocking, I think you're going to see more bursts from Rico. I think you're going to see.
One thing that Rico has to do is stay healthy, which one he hasn't been able to do throughout his career. Even last year, he was injured.
He did play the majority of last season, so he's trending in the right direction there.
But
so yeah,
I'm just talking about proven burst.
Yeah.
The Tony Pollard, that big play. There was there was questions about, and there's still questions about the big play in the backfield. Certainly, you saw some of that K-State juice from Deuce, and you saw what he. The question remains. The numbers, who you keep, how you keep him, how do you find a role for him? I think that Royce Freeman's on this team. I think Zeke's on this team. I think Rico Dowdell's on this team. Now,
Hunter's on this
team.
That's 4.
Yep.
So what do you do? How do you make it work? I got a question for you. What's the difference between Royce Freeman and Zeke?
The jersey number?
How about running style?
It's not entirely different. Zeke is more proven, though. Zeke has the skins on the wall. So that's the biggest difference. Zeke has more skins on the wall.
The name, the pedigree.
I agree.
The relationships with
all of that.
So all things being equal, if it were between Zeke and Royce,
I'm asking you.
Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Then I'm taking Zeke.
Okay. I'm just saying though, but right now we're keeping all 3 on the roster. I'm saying, as you're trying to find that other dynamic, maybe somebody gets cut. How do you shape up this backfield? So I think there are a lot of decisions that have to be made at running back. A lot of tough decisions, certainly. How you find a way for, and can you get Deuce on the practice squad if that's what you want to do?
You probably could have before the Raiders game.
How do you find a way to make all this work? And even if you make all this work, is it going to be good enough? Because I still think there's a question, down in and down out. I think that they'll be better toward the goal line. Between the 20s, there's still the proven big play lacking in the backfield.
And Chill brings up a great point, and we talked about this last night on Camping Out. If you missed that episode, go back through Dallas Cowboys social media and make sure you catch up on that. But we were talking about one of the problems with the Cowboys' rushing attack last season was, in fact, the offensive line. And there was a myriad of injuries over the first several weeks to start the season. Chemistry wasn't really established because the guys were having to plug and play, and that's how we got to find out, hey, T.J. Bass is a gamer. Hey, Brock Hoffman can play some ball at the NFL level. But now you're talking about going into this Raiders game, and you have Tyler Guyton, who's coming along extremely quickly in his transition to left tackle. Cooper Beebe's coming along extremely quickly in his transition to center. And then Tyler Smith's going to be on his left. Zach Martin's going to be on his right. Terrence Steele, so much time now removed from the torn ACL. So just by default, regardless, before you even start talking about who's running the ball, you got to acknowledge that what they're running behind is going to be greatly improved. Okay, so there's that. Also, shouts out to Cooper Beebe and Tyler Guyton because those are some serial killers.
And we left off Malik Davis, who Mike McCarthy says is having a great camp, his best camp since he's been there. And we left off Malik Davis. He started the game. He was solid.
I think the Cowboys carry 4, which includes Hunter Lipke, which is technically a fullback, and then they try to get 2 on the practice squad.
And this is the other dynamic. We're talking about special teams. Who they're gonna put
Rico,
2 back there?
Rico
who's back
and Deuce.
there?
Oh, you mean back there? So alongside Cavante?
Yes.
I think it's a rotate. My guess, speculation. I think it's a rotation of Deuce and Rico, depending on what Bones wants to do on that particular return. Because that extra person has to be.
Do you have Deuce on the team?
I have Deuce on the team.
Okay, since I was just saying.
Yeah, I have Deuce on the team.
You have to find a way to get Deuce on the team.
Yeah, I have Deuce on the team. So in that capacity.
So you're keeping 5 running backs.
Well, you said you're keeping Royce.
Yes.
That's your depth chart. I had to do my math. I was like, wait a minute.
I listened to the Cowboys, and they have said nothing but good things about Royce.
Agreed.
I listened to Steve Jones.
And that's true.
That's all they're talking about.
And that's
Royce,
also
Royce. I cannot believe he was out there. He's been everything.
100% agree. And that's also true of Malik Davis as well.
Right.
But now I say that to say, if you're going strictly off of that, strictly off of the praise that they've been getting Malik Davis and Royce Freeman, and they have been, and rightfully so, they've been doing some work out here in camp. Are you saying that Malik Davis's praise from Stephen Jones, Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, is that enough to overcome a Royce Freeman getting on the roster?
No.
So that's what I mean.
I think,
as they're doing, the numbers are the numbers.
I think Royce is ahead. Malik had ground the game just because he's been losing out to Rico Dowdell the last 2 years.
The numbers are the numbers.
If
I had to,
like I said, I think Royce is on the team. I think Royce, Rico, and Zeke are on the team at running back, and then you'll see what you got there. That's why I asked about.
That's 5 then.
No, yeah, he has 5 because he had Deuce on the team.
No,
you
have 5 because you have
5.
You have 5. I have 4.
He has 4.
I have 4. I have Zeke, Rico, Hunter, and Deuce.
That's
and then I have 2 on the
I don't have Deuce on the team.
That's what I'm saying. I do.
So I have 4. Okay, that's fine.
So you're taking
no. You said Zeke, Rico, Royce, Hunter,
and that's it.
Okay.
So
because that's why I brought up Zeke on the team. That's why I brought on Deuce on the practice squad.
No, you had Deuce on the practice squad.
Remember
that's right. You had Deuce on the practice squad.
I said that question.
So we swapped because I have Royce on the practice squad, Deuce on the active. Chill has Deuce on the practice squad, Royce on the active.
Fair enough. Okay.
That's why I was wondering about who
Yeah, I was like 5. I'm not carrying 5 running backs in this economy.
But anyway, again, and let's be honest about this. They're competing with each other.
Yes, they are.
They're also competing with backs on other teams. And we are not watching the preseason games, seeing what other backs are doing, who might get cut, and stuff like that. So it's still a work in progress. Again, decisions, tough decisions. After this game, I was looking at the Cowboys have tough decisions to make at tight end and how many you keep. They have tough decisions to make, certainly at running back. And we can talk about safety and cornerback and linebacker.
Of course. What?
I'm laughing. Inside joke. Yesterday, Josh and I, we were having a conversation poolside, and we're sitting here, and I tasked Josh with giving me his 53-man roster. And he's chopping names down real easily.
Chopping them
when it got from 90 to 80 and then to 75. Okay, when it got down to like 56, 55, 53, this was Josh. Who do I cut? Do I want to run heavy on safety? But what about my D-line? I'm too light on D-line. That's all part of the equation.
That's how many people you keep in position.
It's not easy.
One word, pain. Just absolute pain. All right, I do have one more offensive question. I am a whole lie.
You're a whole lie.
I'm a whole lie because I said I was done with offensive questions, but I do have one more. We had Ryan Flournoy's first touchdown catch in the game. It was a great pass from Trey Lance, like you said. It had the touch on it. I'm sort of confused by this wide receiver group. Aside from your top guys, aside from CD, aside from Brandon Cooks, Cavante.
I'm sorry, and I love Cropper, and I love what he's done in practice, what he's done in the games.
That is what is confusing me. Like, where is Jalen Cropper? Where are the Jalens?
Well, no, Brooks.
Not Tolbert.
Brooks.
Where is the Jalen?
Where's the Jalen?
Tolbert is in bubble wrap for good reason.
Well,
he's good.
He played Sunday.
Brooks is going to make this team. I cannot stress this enough.
Yeah, he should have made that catch in the first quarter.
But Brooks is going to make this team.
But yeah.
Okay.
But
because he also
Cropper
has film, game film from last season, and he's been one of the standouts.
Yeah.
So Jalen Brooks has proven that he's not just a camp superstar. He can play at a high level. Jalen Cropper is taking a step back, unfortunately.
That's my issue.
In the games. And the problem with that for Jalen Cropper is a guy like Kelvin Harmon is now gaining ground. And Ryan Flournoy, obviously, you're not going to cut your rookie unless he's not showing. And now Flournoy is definitely showing after coming back from an injury he was dealing with in training camp. But when you talk about the wide receiver room, things are shifting below Jalen Brooks. I got my top set, right? So my top set is CeeDee Lamb, it's Brandon Cooks, it's Jalen Tolbert, it's Jalen Brooks, it's Cavante Turpin. That's 5. Are you running 6 or are you running 7? That's the question. But as far as wide receiver 6 is concerned, that's going to have to be a special teams guy who can also contribute at times on offense. I'm seeing it from Kelvin Harmon. I'm seeing it from Ryan Flournoy.
And Cropper on special teams, I mean, that play where he fumbles.
He fumbled last week. They got the ball back.
He also had the drop across the middle, and I said it in real time.
It was a bad pass, but...
No, I said it in real time. And we talk about 2 things being true. This is a situation where 2 things are true. That was an accuracy issue on that throw from Trey Lance. Hit him in stride, not behind him, especially when the defender is on his back hip in his back pocket.
That could have been a pick.
Didn't do his receiver, didn't do Jalen Cropper any favors on that throw. It's also true that Jalen Cropper returned that by not doing a favor for his quarterback and bringing that in because it was still a catchable pass. Yeah. So on both ends, the toss and the catch, things didn't go well.
And when you're trying to make the team, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
You do not.
No.
So that's the problem.
I'm also looking, too, at Tyron Billy Johnson. Talked about him very highly in the past on the show, and also not showing up in the preseason game.
And what did I say last week?
What did you say last week? Remind me.
Remember?
Remind the people.
If it's even, I'm leaving. Tyron Billy Johnson got tape in this league. He's been in this league. He has to excel among the young guys.
Where's his targets? Where is targets?
I don't know, but
that's the problem for Tyron Billy Johnson.
But is he getting open?
But you know what I'm saying? You throw to the open guy. Ain't nobody got no favorites out here. Ain't nobody the number one receiver. You know, I don't think we lean it towards somebody. You know, you get open, they're gonna try to get you the ball.
Agreed, but I think what comes into play to play when you have that conversation is who is the quarterback, how quickly can they process, go through their reads and their progressions. And we're talking about Trey needing more reps for those types of reasons, to be able to process more quickly and have more composure. And I say that to say that means that at this point he's still working on the composure. He's still working on processing quickly. So there are times where, yeah, I've seen Tyron Billy Johnson open, but the progression doesn't happen quickly enough, and then the throw doesn't happen.
Yeah, and he's a guy who would be, when we're talking about special teams, he would be a candidate to be a kick returner, you know, and you have to, and certainly he can do the coverage stuff, but you need him to be dynamic and make me have to keep you.
Yeah.
You know,
and he's not doing that.
Yeah, he's not making you have to keep him at this point.
No.
Again, there's the other guys have so much more upside.
Listen, but Ryan Flanoy, 4 catches on 6 targets for 23 yards, and he got the touchdown.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that all on one drive? So Flanoy can get the job done, and he
also can return.
And he is, if you're talking about just the metrics, he is arguably the most athletic, freakish athletic guy on the roster. Just go look at his RAS score coming into this year's draft.
All right, boys, let's take our final break. When we come back, defense. I promise, chill.
We got 10 minutes for defense.
10 minutes of defense. That's more than enough people need.
Treat defense so bad. Start again.
You treat defense.
We'll be right back.
Save the best for
start again.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Welcome back to Talkin Cowboys, live from Oxnard, California. Presented by Black Rifle Coffee, the official coffee sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Boys,
we gotta have fun.
We have fun here.
We have fun.
We have fun here.
Yeah, I'm a no fun guy.
I'm not a normal host. I'm a fun host.
You a lie.
Right.
You a lie. You a lie.
Guy.
You all fun.
I'm
man.
boring.
All right. You're all fun.
As promised,
That's Acho.
defense. defense. Let's finish this out strong.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little special teams. But Keemon Hall with a pick six. Almost Willie Harvey with a pick six.
Almost.
How are we feeling about the defense?
I'm feeling they are continuing to take the ball away. Like we talked about on the last episode, this is coming off of the Dan Quinn era, going into the Mike Zimmer era. question was, could this defense continue to take the ball away? And they're showing they can.
It's a small sample size, but it is a sample size nonetheless.
And it was also against NFL starters last week. So Willie Harvey almost got his pick six in the first quarter, also had a second pass breakup in the first quarter. So he's, had a good bounce back game over what he put out there against the Rams. I still have him as my +1, even more so now, but keep an eye on Nick Vigil as someone who could probably disrupt that. But Keemon Hall, here's another potential ball hawk because of a guy like Al Harris, and obviously the work ethic for Keemon Hall as well, and he's been working hard. His journey, you talk about Tyron Billy Johnson, Keemon Hall's journey has not been friendly in the NFL. He's been on several teams, 2 stints with the Los Angeles Chargers, who he will go up against to try to earn a roster spot here in a few days. Claimed off of waivers from the 49ers, only a short stay with the 49ers, put him with Mike Zimmer, put him with Al Harris, and what does he get? He gets a 69-yard touchdown return, takes that to the house against Aiden O'Connell. So, this Cowboys team is taking the ball away, and we'll see how that continues once they start to go up against consistent starters week after week after week. But at the same time, you can't knock, what are we talking, 5 interceptions, including the pick 6 in the first 7 quarters of preseason play?
So you're telling me.
Tell me what I'm telling you,
Don't get me wrong.
Tell me what I'm telling you.
You're telling me that Dan Quinn didn't invent interceptions.
Apparently not.
You're telling me
No.
that Dan Quinn didn't invent turnovers.
But you know where that comes from. It comes from years under, no shade thrown, but let's say a Rob Marinelli regime where takeaways were drops of water in the Sahara.
You had guys that couldn't catch.
There were drops of water. There were drops of deja vu in the Sahara.
Byron Jones
got a pick.
But you understand what I'm. You
understand
get
that,
exactly what I'm.
Good defender. It's about ball guys.
A good defender.
Yes, it is.
Okay, you got guys that couldn't catch a cold butt naked in Alaska. That's why they play defensive back. Excuse me, can I say that?
You just did.
Okay, I'm just saying though. Let's be honest.
We are. We agree.
Who's the quarterback from Colorado? I forgot his name. 3rd round pick with the Cincinnati.
That's
second round pick cornerback, Colorado. Started cornerback, left cornerback. He was always
went to the Super
around.
Bowl.
Just never could turn and make his play. Huh?
He said he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Chidobe Awuzie.
Cheeto.
Cheeto.
Flaming hot Cheeto.
Cheeto was always in position, wasn't he?
Yeah. Pass breakup. Was that your PBU move? Was that your pass breakup move?
I'm just saying though. Listen, it helps when you got guys that can catch the ball.
We agree.
Trayvon,
I'm qualifying it for the Cowboys fans because the Cowboys fans were starved for it, and now they got it.
I know the Cowboys PR staff. Dan Quinn, they're doing all this stuff. They got guys that catch the ball.
Yeah.
Diggs came here been able to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Yes, he's helped. He came here been able to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Bland came here been able to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Diggs was a former receiver.
Right.
They have a guy that can catch the ball, please.
It's just fans being afraid of going backward in that category. And the point being is they're not going backward.
So while we talk about players, and I think those players did show up, and I really liked the opening drive of the game, and Willie Harvey, pick 6 right there. What I liked about it, though, was the scheme, was Zimmer's defense. He was in the right position. They had him on 3rd down, and the starting quarterback for the Raiders had no answers. And the Zimmer scheme flushed it and throw into a pick 6 to a backup linebacker that it should have had it. So what I saw in the game was I saw this defense taking heed to Zimmer's schemes against a starting offense. 2 quarterbacks who were vying for the starting job scored 6 points in the first half. One of the guys who was vying for the starting job gave up the pick 6. To me, it wasn't about the Jimmys and Joes. It was about Zimmer's scheme, and you saw how his blitz packages and his coverages, and they gave up the big 46-yard catch, gave up a big punt return, gave up a fumble. Defense tightened up, and that was more about them taking to Zimmer's scheme and what they're trying to do and what they're asking them to do. And if you can do that with the backups, it's be pretty good with the starters.
It's definitely the X's and O's, and we've seen that over the course of camp. Mike Zimmer has been making life a living hell for quarterbacks not named Dak Prescott.
And that's one of the things that when the Cowboys are optimistic, and look, I'm one of the people to criticize them, and I'm going to stand on that. They criticize them for not doing anything in the offseason. And one thing that Jerry and Steven talked about, their biggest free agent acquisition was Mike Zimmer and how his scheme was going to make a difference. I said, y'all asking Zimmer to be a magician. And we'll see in the regular season because you still have to do it. And in Cleveland, stopping the run against the Browns, a team that likes to run the ball on the road, lot to tell, but that's one reason why the Cowboys felt they could be better with their current crop is because the scheme and the teaching and the fundamentals and the defense and you know, the foundation of defense was going to be better.
And also, because as much as it is about the X's and O's, there were some Jimmies and Joes that showed up. If you go back and look at the pick six from Kemon Hall, he was in position right where he needed to be. That's Mike Zimmer. He got the interception, finished the play. That's absolutely on Kemon. He got that job done. But look at what caused that, right? The edges were collapsed by Darrell Johnson and AQM, Al-Qadim Muhammad. And then Al-Qadim Muhammad, he puts his arm up in the viewing window of O'Connell. So not only is it a high-pressure throw, but it's not a clear line of sight. So everybody did their job. Mike Zimmer, great scheme, great play call there. The defensive ends collapsed, did what they were supposed to do, and then Kemon Hall did the rest. As long as all pieces are firing, all cylinders are firing like that, going forward week after week, the takeaways are not going to go down. As a matter of fact, that might turn up a bit because they're doing this and Trayvon Diggs hasn't taken the field yet.
Absolutely, and I think it also lends itself to the linebacker room as well. If you look at last year over this year and you see how they've built it up, and I don't think the fans overall, I don't think the narrative is there that we've done anything in free agency. You know what I mean? But if you look at just that room, it's like, okay, they kind of built this from the ground up due to Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, and don't forget about Kalen Carson. He missed the game against the Raiders because he's dealing with a wisdom tooth that he had to have extracted. But Kalen Carson, seatbelt, he's in the mix heavily as well.
From the outside, though, and it's going to defend us on the outside, you know, you have to question unproven guys.
Of course.
So you can say whatever, but I'm a big Texas guy, right?
You?
I'm a big Demo guy, right?
Really?
But he hadn't played yet.
Yeah.
So you hadn't done nothing to improve the linebacker room, right? On paper. On paper.
I got this.
Okay.
On paper.
I love it.
On paper.
Hold on a second.
You know, and so you got to show me. I don't project. I don't say
I disagree.
Vehemently disagree.
And
here's
you
why.
You got to show me. It ain't my job to project positively.
No, this is not projecting positively. This is objective speak. You're correct. If you haven't shown it yet, I haven't seen it yet, and I'm more scientific than most, so I need to see it in order to use it as data. 100% agree there. But I believe that the sheer presence of DeMarvion Overshown on this roster improves the linebacker core over what it was last year.
No doubt.
For a large,
because he's a linebacker.
Right. A large part of the reason is because they didn't have linebackers last year.
He looks like a linebacker.
He's a linebacker. They didn't have linebackers last year. So even before you start wondering what Demo can do in regular season, which is justifiable, the fact that he's healthy and present and accounted for in and of itself upgrades this linebacker.
We need him to stay healthy. Got the hip pointer and play last week. But yes,
a little bit of a hip pointer. There's some bubble wrap involved in that also. We're not going to pretend.
He still has not been.
There was some bubble wrap.
He still has not been unleashed 100%.
There was some bubble wrap.
We bring it along slowly.
That's all right.
Hip pointers, we haven't really seen.
Week one coming.
Okay, I understand that. So until it comes, there will remain questions.
But on paper, it's better already. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because they got linebackers.
Yeah, don't give me the soft yeah. Just say yeah. Just say yeah.
Because they play linebacker. But until you got to do it, you got to do it on the field. You can look like a linebacker.
Let the record show
do it on the field.
that Clarence agrees with me.
Listen,
gotta give me the soft
I'm all Demo.
Yeah,
gotta get him lined up.
Before they take a snap in the regular season. On paper, it's better. How it plays out, we'll
Louis Fowl also in that conversation as well.
100%. Eric Kendricks, Damone Clark.
There's still young guys who have not seen NFL scheming.
That is 100% correct.
So they can look like it, are they going to process it? They're going to see it like they're supposed to see it in a real game against real NFL
Which
defense.
Is what
that's so you go back to the they have to be able to stop the run. Yes, you like the players they have, but again, it's unproven guys.
Which is what makes Eric Kendricks so valuable going into this year.
100%. All right, our final point, we need to get to Brandon Aubrey.
Let's do that.
A little special teams. 66-yard field goal, the longest field goal, I believe, in NFL history. I mean, granted, it's preseason. It doesn't necessarily count. Tied for the longest. Doesn't necessarily count.
It don't count.
Because it isn't the preseason.
Don't count.
It just don't count.
It don't count.
It don't count.
It would have been good from 72. Are you kidding me?
It don't count.
I know it don't. I know. But are you kidding me?
Thanks for listening to Talkin Cowboys.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, Tony Dorsett's 99-yard run could have been 110 if the field was longer.
That's so Unk talking. That's Unk talking from the cookout next to the grill with the slides on, with the sandals on.
Just a Debbie Downer.
Just whipping it up.
But Aubrey, give him credit for what he went through. Again, it's funny because last week he was human. indoors.
Yeah.
Missed a 65-yarder?
65.
Yeah, missed 65-yarder. It was a bad miss for him.
Yeah.
Because it was short. You know, it was a bad miss for him. You know, the guy, you know,
and then he
didn't miss nothing last year.
Then he got some dad strength.
You know, and then he had to run out the building.
Yeah.
Get on the plane like, I would say OJ, we can't say that no more. OJ used to run through the airports. We can't say he run. We can't say that no more. He had to run to get to the airport. See his baby boy born.
So what I'm going to assume is that because he had the birth of his child on his mind, he missed the 65-yarder. Yeah. His child was born named Colton. Is it Colton or Colton?
Yeah, Colton. No, it's Colton. I saw you tweeted Colton.
Yeah, I thought you said Colton.
No, it's Colton because
Colt for short.
Because he said Colton because he said no one had that name. I know everybody. We know it as a Colt McCoy. We know other Colts, but he said Colton because he said no one had that name.
Somebody's going to call him.
He wanted to be the first. But his name is Colton.
His name is Colton.
Yes.
Colton Aubrey is now here and gave his dad some dad strength. Yeah. So Mr. 65-yarder got his attribute went up. Poop. The +2 popped up over his head. Right.
Yeah.
And there you go.
+2 dad strength.
Then +2 dad strength. The attribute with the slider went up a little bit.
Hit it good. Hit it good from 66 on grass, not on turf, which is important.
Yeah.
You know.
Important to note.
On grass, not on turf. Certainly indoors, but and yes, it would.
I love that you're denigrating this at every turn.
No, on grass is a benefit. No,
that's true.
It's easy to kick on turf.
Right.
On grass, that makes it tougher. So that was not denigrating.
Okay, fair enough.
Listen to me now. Listen to me.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Listen to me now.
Listen to me. So he said he's kicked from 70 in practice. Yes, it would have been. That's the farthest he kicked in practice was 70. He told us, but I mean 66 yards. My God.
Here's my thing, and then I'll let you close it out. As much as we loved and enjoyed seeing that 66-yarder that would have been good from 72 based on next-gen stats, and as much as we love seeing how Brandon Aubrey is an absolute weapon from those types of distances, I would like to get the Men in Black neuralizer out and put it right in front of Mike McCarthy and say, forget that ever happened, okay? Go for it, be more aggressive on third down, stretch the field, punch the ball in. Just forget that your kicker can do that because I don't want you leaning on that at all.
Disagree.
Unless the game's on the line.
Disagree.
If the game's on the line in that situation,
game on the line. And in the half situation, this was an in the half situation. That's the perfect time to do it. And what I liked about the whole play, and let's get back to Trey Lance, because Trey Lance, third down, makes that run because they get the ball back. They scored a touchdown. We think, okay, 49ers going to run the clock, or not the 49ers. The Raiders going to get the ball. They won't get the ball back. After this beautiful pass to Florida. They 3 and out. They get the ball back. They're backed up. Trey Lance leads them on a drive. And long third down play. He scrambles, goes for 20 yards, scrambles, slides, hits the timeout. They get him on the field.
Which was great IQ by the young man, by the way.
They get him on the field to make that. That's what you want at the end of halves. Because no time was running out.
Would you not
got that big leg.
In that short series, would you not have taken at least one shot deep?
They may have called one shot, but we're talking about the quarterback.
I get what you're saying.
I mean, no one's saying that Mike McCarthy didn't call the shot.
Right.
But we're talking about the operation with that quarterback.
Yeah.
In his situation, him being in that situation for the first time, not wanting certainly to throw a pick six or do something to give them an easy score.
But you're evaluating that quarterback, right?
Again,
drop back and throw that ball.
Don't turn that ball over either. Don't put us in the back. But the bottom line, we're evaluating him scrambling, getting the banging the timeout, getting the kicker on the field to make that 66 yard.
That is a portion of the evaluation.
About those two final drives, you got to be happy about what they did.
It was fun, no doubt.
Do it again, Mike.
It's also true from the evaluation standpoint.
At the end of the game,
you're evaluating Trey.
At the end of the half,
take a shot. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
At the end of the half,
we know what Brandon Aubrey can do.
At the end of the game, at the end of the half.
But good looking out, Brandon. That was nasty work.
Let the boomstick out.
Sounded like a mojo moment to me, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Show me Trey Lance's boomstick.
Boomstick. Aubrey boomstick.
All right, boys. That'll be it for Talkin Cowboys live from Oxnard, California. The final Talkin Cowboys of Training Camp 2024. Really appreciate everybody that's been on this podcast. Kyle Yeomans, Isaiah Standback, we're back home. Patrick Nosey Walker, Clarence Hill, Nate Newton. Thank you so much for doing this.
Big Nate.
Christopher Beamer in the background. I'm Josh Rodriguez. Thanking you live from Oxnard, California. We'll see you back home.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!